Meta just fundamentally changed how ads get delivered to people, and most brands are still running campaigns like it's 2023. In 2025, they rolled out a major evolution to their Andromeda system, the AI that decides which ads get shown to which people, and it completely rewired how the platform works. If you've noticed your ad performance shifting, your testing behaving differently, or your campaign structure feeling outdated, this is probably why. I'm going to break down the 5 critical shifts you need to understand, because the brands that adapt to this are going to dominate in 2026. And the ones that don't are going to keep throwing money at a system that's working against them. So let's get into it. I'm Aaron, co-founder at 3 Beacon Marketing. Over the last decade, my co-founder and I have worked with dozens of D2C brands in health, wellness, and lifestyle. We've helped generate over $100 million in revenue for our clients. First, some context on what actually changed. Andromeda is Meta's retrieval engine. It's the first stage of ad delivery where the system takes millions of possible ads and narrows them down to a few thousand candidates that might get shown to someone. The old system worked like a king of the hill contest. You'd give Meta a few ads, it would quickly find the strongest performer, and then it would pour almost your entire budget into that single winner. But that's not how it works anymore. The new Andromeda system is more like a matchmaker now. It takes your entire portfolio of ads and actively seeks out specific pockets of your audience that will resonate with each unique message. So why did Meta do this? Simply scale. The explosion of Advantage Plus automation and generative AI tools meant millions more ads flooding the system on a daily basis. The old infrastructure just simply couldn't handle it. So they built Andromeda to process 10,000x increase in model complexity while handling hundreds of times more ads than ever before. The technical specs don't matter to you as an advertiser though. What matters is this. Meta's AI now has the capacity to deliver truly personalized ads at scale, but only if you give it what it needs to work. And that brings us to the 5 shifts. The first shift is the biggest one, and Meta said it explicitly in their April 2025 update. I quote, "With the rise of AI-enabled advertising tools, the focus has shifted from niche targeting to creative diversification as the best lever to find the most relevant audiences." So let me translate that. Your competitive advantage is no longer in how precisely you target people. It's in how diverse and compelling your creative portfolio is. The old playbook was narrow audience targeting with a few polished ads. Stack interests, layer demographics, split test audiences against each other. That playbook is dead. The new playbook is broad targeting with a diverse creative portfolio that speaks to different people, different problems, in different contexts. Here's the key thing to understand. Andromeda is designed to match specific ads to specific people, but only if you give it one angle. Say a single product demo video. It can only try that one approach with everyone. If you give it a portfolio of ads that lean into different pain points, different customer personas, different stages of awareness, the system can learn who responds to each message and deliver ads that feel personally relevant to each person. This isn't about making 15 versions of the same ad with slightly different hooks anymore. That's creative duplication, not diversity. Real creative diversity means building ads that differ in concepts, formats, personas, and awareness levels. I'll give you a concrete example. Let's say you're a fitness brand. The old approach would be 3 ads with different hooks, but the same core message. Get fit in 30 days. Targeted to women 25 to 45 interested in yoga and CrossFit. One speaks to the new mom who feels like she's lost her identity. Another speaks to the busy executive worried about his health after a bad doctor's report. Another speaks to the college student who wants to build habits on a budget. Each ad addresses a different desire, energy, confidence, and performance. Each speaks to a different awareness level. Some educate the problem, some introduce solutions, and some differentiate your approach. Conceptually different ads, same offer, completely different creative strategy. And here's what we're seeing. The brands doing this are getting better results with simpler campaign structures because they're finally giving Meta's AI the raw material it needs to personalize at scale. The second shift is about how you build campaigns. If creative diversity is doing the heavy lifting, then what does that mean for your campaign construction? It actually means it gets way simpler. So here's what we're seeing work right now. 1 campaign per conversion goal. You need a different campaign for purchases versus leads versus add to carts. But beyond that, you probably don't need more outside of a few cases. 1 ad set per offer per campaign in most cases as well. Broad targeting and let the creative do the targeting work. Do 8 to 15 truly diverse ad concepts in that ad set to start with, and that's where you're going to invest your time. Compare that to the old structure where brands would have 5 campaigns, each with 3 to 6 ad sets, testing different audience stacks with 2 to 3 ads per ad set, and that's 30 to 90 moving pieces you're trying to manage. Now, 1 campaign, 1 ad set, 8 to 10 to 12 ads. 12 moving pieces, the system is simpler, your decisions are clearer, and your time shifts from campaign architecture to creative strategy. So let me be clear about what this doesn't mean. It doesn't mean you just dump 15 random ads into an ad set and hope for the best. The ads still need to be good. They still need to be strategically different. But it does mean you stop obsessing over whether to use a lookalike audience, an interest stack, or a custom audience. You stop splitting budgets across 5 different ad sets to test audiences. You stop overcomplicating the structure. Here's the main principle. Complexity should exist where it creates leverage. Campaign structure doesn't create leverage anymore. Creative diversity does. So simplify the structure, deepen the creative, and look, I get it. If you've spent years mastering complex campaign architecture, this feels like throwing away expertise. But the platform has changed. The old expertise is a liability now, not an ad set. The new expertise is understanding how to build creative portfolios that give Andromeda what it needs to work. The third shift is about where targeting actually happens. Under the old system, you targeted people through campaign settings, demographics, interests, behaviors, custom audiences. The ad was just the message you delivered once you found the right person. Under Andromeda, it's flipped. The ad is the targeting mechanism. Here's what I mean by that. When you create an ad that speaks specifically to a new mom struggling with postpartum weight and feeling like she's lost her identity, you're targeting new moms. Not through an audience setting, through the message itself. The people who are going to resonate with that ad are the people it's designed for. Everyone else is going to scroll past it. The system learns from who engages and optimizes delivery to more people like them. This is why creative diversity matters so much. Each distinct ad is essentially its own micro audience within your broad targeting parameters. So what does this mean practically? Stop chasing the perfect audience combo. There isn't one. The winner for one person will flop for another. And that's the point. You're not trying to find one perfect audience. You're trying to reach multiple audiences with multiple messages. And you're letting Andromeda handle the matching. Keep your ad sets broad, Advantage Plus audiences, open targeting, maybe exclude past purchasers if you're doing acquisition, but that's about it. The tighter you make the audience, the less room Andromeda has to find the people who will respond to each specific ad. This also means you need to think about your ads differently when you're creating them. You're not just writing good copy and making pretty visuals anymore. You're defining who this ad is for, what desire it taps into, and what level of awareness it assumes. We use a framework called PDA, persona, desire, and awareness, to make sure every ad we create is genuinely targeting a different micro audience. Persona is who specifically are we talking to, not just demographics, but their situation, their identity, their pain. Desire is what transformation do they want? Health, wealth, relationships, status, performance. And awareness is where are they in their journey? Do they even know they have a problem? Do they know solutions exist? Do they know why your solution is different? Every combination of those 3 variables creates a different ad concept, and each one targets a different slice of your market. That's how you do targeting now. Not in the campaign settings, not in the ad set settings, in the creative itself. The fourth shift is all about volume and variety. For years, Meta's guidance was don't put more than 6 ads in an ad set. They said there was no clear benefit beyond that. In 2025, that recommendation disappeared, and while Meta never explicitly said why, it's obvious. Andromeda changed the math. We're now seeing success with 8 to 15 ads per campaign even. Some advertisers are running even more than that. The system can handle it because it's not trying to find one winner anymore. It's trying to match the right ad to the right person. But here's the critical thing. More ads only works if they're strategically different. If you create 15 ads that are all the same concept with minor tweaks, different colored backgrounds, slightly different hooks, or same core message, you're wasting the system's capacity. You're giving it 15 versions of the same thing when it wants 15 different things. Think of it like this. If you walk into a restaurant and the menu has 15 items, they're all variations of chicken parmesan, one with extra cheese, one with less sauce, one with a different pasta, you really don't have a diverse menu. You have one dish with 15 tweaks. Andromeda wants you to offer chicken, fish, steak, a vegetarian option, and even a vegan option too. It wants fundamentally different approaches so it can match people to what they actually want. So how do you create that many strategically different ads without burning out your creative team? First, mix formats. You don't need to shoot 15 different videos. You can have 3 core video concepts, several static image ads, a couple of carousel ads, and some simple text on background quote style ads. Format diversity counts. Then make sure you're using PDA framework I mentioned earlier. If you map out 3 personas, 3 desires, and 3 awareness levels, there you have it. You have 27 possible combinations. You don't need to create all 27, but you can strategically pick 8 to 12 that make sense for your brand and market. And third, batch your production. Don't try to create 15 ads at one at a time. Batch shoot your video content, batch write your static ad concepts, batch design your visuals. Treat creative production like a system, not a one-off project. And lastly, and this is important, don't judge success by individual ad ROAS anymore. You need to shift to judging the health of your creative portfolio and the overall ROAS of the campaign or ad set. Some ads will get tons of spend, some will get very little. That's not a bug, it's a feature. Andromeda is holding low spend ads in reserve for specific micro audiences it hasn't fully activated yet. If you kill those ads too early, you're limiting the system's ability to personalize. The rule we use, turn off clear losers that get decent impressions but terrible CTR. But don't kill low spend ads just because they're low spending. Let the system work, and the goal isn't to find the one perfect ad. The goal is to build a portfolio of strong ads that covers enough ground for Andromeda to personalize effectively. Alright, and then the fifth shift is where this all leads. If creative diversity is the new lever for growth, then your competitive advantage as a brand is no longer in your media buying sophistication. It's in your creative production capacity. Let me say that again because it's the most important point in this whole video. Your competitive advantage is your ability to consistently produce diverse, compelling creative. The brands that are going to win in 2026 aren't the ones with the smartest targeting strategies or the most complex campaign structures. They're the ones that can create 8 to 15 strategically different ads every month or more without sacrificing quality. That's a different skill set than most D2C brands have built. Most brands treat creative like a bottleneck. They produce a few assets every quarter, test them, then run the winners into the ground until performance degrades. That doesn't work anymore. You need to treat creative like a system, a repeatable process for generating diverse concepts, producing them efficiently, and refreshing your portfolio regularly. This is why we've embedded a designer and video editor directly into our team structure. It's not outsourced, it's not a one-off project, it's a core competency. Because here's the reality. If you can't feed Andromeda what it needs, you're fighting against the platform. And if you're fighting against the platform, you're going to lose to competitors who aren't. The brands that figure out creative production are going to scale profitably, and the ones that don't are going to plateau, overspend, and then blame the algorithm. So ask yourself, do you have a system for producing diverse creative consistently? Or are you still treating creative like a bottleneck you work around? If it's the latter, that's your growth ceiling right now. So let me tie this all together. Meta's Andromeda update fundamentally changed the game. It shifted the platform from rewarding sophisticated targeting and campaign architecture to rewarding creative diversity and strategic messaging. The 5 shifts. First, creative diversity replaced narrow targeting as the primary growth lever. 2, campaign structure simplifies dramatically because the creative is doing the targeting work. 3, targeting happens in the ad itself through persona, desire, and awareness alignment, PDA. 4, you need more ads. 8, 10, 12, 15 per ad set, but they must be strategically different, not surface level variations. And 5, your competitive advantage is now creative production capacity, not media buying sophistication. Together, these shifts mean your growth bottleneck has moved. It's no longer in your campaign settings, ad set settings, or audience strategy. It's in your ability to create diverse, compelling creative at scale. The brands that adapt to this are going to dominate. The ones that keep running like 2023 playbooks are going to keep burning cash while wondering why their ads just won't work anymore. And I understand this isn't easy. Building a creative system is harder than tweaking campaign settings, but it's also more defensible. Your competitors can copy your targeting strategy in 5 minutes. They can't replicate your creative production capacity overnight. So this is where the real competitive moat is now. So here's what I'd recommend. If you're running Meta ads right now, audit where you stand on these 5 shifts. Are you still building complex campaign structures with narrow audience targeting and a handful of ads? If so, you're fighting the system. Are you giving Meta broad targeting with a diverse creative portfolio? If so, congrats, you're working with the system. And if you're somewhere in between, or if you know you need to shift but don't have the creative production capacity to execute on this, well, that's where we come in. At 3BN, we built our entire system around this reality. Our true north ad strategy has always emphasized message and creative testing as the primary levers for growth. Andromeda didn't force us to pivot. It actually validated what we've been doing and gave us new tools to do it even better. We have the team, designers, video editors, copywriters, to produce diverse creative at scale. We have the frameworks, like PDA, to ensure that creative is strategically different, not just surface level variations. And we have the experience running the system across multiple brands to know what actually works. So if you want us to audit where your current setup is fighting the system versus leveraging it, go ahead and book a diagnostic call. We'll look at your campaigns, your creative, your structure, and give you a clear roadmap for how to adapt. You can either run with that roadmap yourself, or if you want us to install and execute it for you, we can talk about what partnership looks like. But either way, you'll walk away with clarity on what needs to change and how to do it. The link to book a call is in the description. And if you found this breakdown helpful, do me a favor. Share it with another founder who's running meta ads. This shift is affecting everyone, and most people are still confused about what changed and why their campaigns feel different. All right, well, that's it. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.